Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we're going to be talking about processes for scaling your business. So let's assume you've been doing real estate for a few years and you've had consistent sales every year, hopefully some growth, hopefully more sales with each subsequent year. How do you scale that so that you are in control of the number of sales you have every year? Or perhaps you're an agent who has grown and grown and grown, and now you've sort of hit a point where you are not sure how to take it to the next level. So if you've had a plateau, we're going to talk about some techniques you can use, some skills you can implement that would allow you to scale your business. So the first I want to talk about is, are you using the tools that will help you be more consistent with communication, with tracking where your sales are coming from, with staying in contact with past clients? For me, when I started staying in touch with past clients consistently, that's when I saw my referral business really start to grow. So it doesn't matter what amazing experience I have had with my clients. If I've done a terrific job, they've left me a wonderful review. If I just ghost out on them and never talk to them again, I can't really depend on that source of business to bring me referrals. So it's only after I started having consistent interaction with them and really choosing to come up with a plan of how I'm going to contact them throughout the year, and then making sure I do that every year. And I'm going to tell you, it was a mess the first year or two. When I decided to do fall mums, the plants, mums on the front porch of everybody who'd bought a house from me over the last 5 years, that was a mess because I didn't have all of that information in one easy to reach place yet. Now I have it, and I have it in a spreadsheet on a shared Google Drive where I can then send that to whoever I have bribed or conned into dropping all those mums off at everybody's front porch for me over the course of about a week and a half. Well, the first year I was doing it, all those mums were starting to dry out, and I had them out on the sidewalk in front of the office watering them and trying to keep them alive while I tried to find time to work on that spreadsheet to make sure I had everybody in there, to make sure I had their correct addresses, to make sure, that they were all easily found by whoever it was, my best friend, who I conned into making all those deliveries for me. She loves to run errands. She loves to just, crank up the tunes and drive around. So she was very happy for me to buy her a gift card at her favorite restaurant. And she spent days just driving around town, Daleville to Vinton to Glenver, just to drop mums off on everybody's front porch. So the first year, that was a disaster. The second year, much easier. Right? She already had the spreadsheet. All she needed were the most recent year's worth of past clients and add those into the, she'd already organized, okay, this day I'm going to do Vinton and Daleville. This day I'm going to do Salem and Glenver. This day I'm going to do Southwest Roanoke County. So she just had to fit in and shoehorn in those new sales. So it gets easier and easier the more often you do it. Okay. Same with getting a mailing list put together. If you've got a mailing list put together, it's some time up front making that happen. But then once it's done, and once you've got everybody into your client relationship manager, your CRM program, it is way easier. So if you're not using a client relationship manager, even something as basic as the one we have, the contact management tab on MLS, it's really going to free up your time once you have that done. And I'm here to tell you, it's going to take you 2 solid work days of working to input all of that data. Okay. Because they're things only you know. So a lot of times it's going to have to be you doing that. Or you're going to have to be readily available for someone you've hired to input all of that data for you, because you may know that their legal name is not the name they go by. So if I get a piece of mail to Ashley and Daniel, I know they don't really know us because they know my husband goes by Chip. He's never gone by Daniel. That's his legal name. But if I get a piece of mail to that, I know it's not a personal piece of mail. And you can understand that's not going to look great if it's your past client who you've had in your car for 3 months looking for a house and you've got their legal name on there rather than the name you've called them by. It's going to look impersonal. So you're going to have to be hands-on with all of that data entry. But once it's done, it's fantastic. If you've got them in a robust client relationship manager platform, like Realty Juggler, like Constant Contact, even our contact management software program in the MLS is pretty robust. You can put in birthdays, anniversaries, and you would be using that anniversary slot for when they bought their house. That way you can print reports. You can find out, okay, it's July. Who bought a house from me in July? It's time to send out a mailer. It's time to send out an anniversary card, a happy house anniversary card. And once you get consistent like that, you'll be able to leverage that, that mailing list in all sorts of ways. Birthday cards, happy house anniversary cards. You can send them, you know, a little baggie of candy for Halloween, all sorts of things you can start using that list for. But more importantly, what you're doing is you're staying in consistent contact with your past clients. So being predictable is going to be one of the most important things because they know to count on that. They know to start looking for that. My clients know that if they get a dog or a cat, they're going to get a little gift in the mail from me, welcoming their new dog or cat. So BarkBox makes that really easy, you know. And then once they're in the account on my BarkBox account, they're in there. If I want to send the dog something for Christmas, I can. So it's just creating for yourself a framework that you know you're going to interact with your past clients. And that is when you'll really see your business begin to grow, because now you're staying what they call top of mind. So every time they think of real estate, they think of you. And whenever you're reaching out to them in that manner, there's the opportunity to just stay in front of your audience and ask for referrals. So client relationship manager is one of them. It's, I would argue, the most important tool you're going to have, because it allows you to stay in contact with your sphere of influence and grow that sphere and be able to stay in contact with them. So if you are not, and I'm going to tell you, it took me a long time to finally sit down and get my client relationship manager filled out. It can be as easy as a spreadsheet. You know, if you just want to keep everybody on a spreadsheet and use the data that way, you can. I'll tell you, I use Constant Contact. I like it because it's very, very easy to use. And also it meets the standard that is required to allow people to opt out. So last week I used it to send a flyer to about 900 realtors in the Roanoke Valley about a realtor luncheon I had last Friday with a couple of other agents at our firm. And so I used Constant Contact to do that. And I had 3 agents in the Valley unsubscribe from me personally. That's fine. What I liked about that, well, number one, is out of 900 people, only 3 unsubscribed. Number 2, I didn't have to manage that. I didn't have to remember not to email them again later, right? Constant Contact just took care of that for me. So they unsubscribed them. It will not, even if I don't take them off the list, it will not email them again. So I have the confidence to know that I'm going to be complying and staying up on those rules because I've hired a company to do that for me. And all of the big ones will have that feature. Then the next thing you need to be working on is draft emails and template emails. And I'm just going to very quickly show you templates on Gmail because I know a lot of you use Gmail. So I'm going to share my screen here and we're going to go to Gmail and I'm going to compose an email. Okay. Let me move it over here. Bear with me. So I'm composing an email and I may choose to go ahead and start a new email. Perhaps this is a new email that I'm going to want to use as a template called Happy Summer. And I'm going to send this email out every summer to my database of past clients. And I can fill this out. I can put some graphics in it. I can do whatever I want to do with this email. And then I can come down here to these 3 little dots on Gmail, and I can say templates, save draft as template, save as new template, and it's going to be called Happy Summer. And I'm going to click save on that. So now I've saved that template. It will now be available anytime I go to compose an email. Let me show you an example. If I compose a new one and I want this to be my announcement that we're going to have a broker Q&A Zoom call, and I need to send you guys the Zoom link, I just open up a blank email. I go to the 3 dots. I go to templates, and I say, please insert the template for Thursday Zoom broker Q&A. And there is the language that I use at the beginning before I paste in the unique Zoom link for this week's class. So it's already put in for me the subject line. It's already put in the body of the email, and it includes our YouTube channel link for them to catch up on past sessions. That makes it very, very easy for me to send this out every week because I've already saved it as a template. I might choose to do the same throughout the processes of going through a transaction. Perhaps I want to have templates set up for steps 1 through 10 of the transaction process. So maybe I have a template email that is called, congratulations on your new home. And I'm saying in there, congratulations, now that you're ratified on a contract, we need to deposit your earnest money deposit within 5 business days. So we need to get that delivered to the office as soon as possible. Please reply to this email and indicate whether you will be mailing your check or whether I may pick it up. Okay. Then you can have another one, time for inspections. As part of the process of buying a home, we're going to go through an inspection process. And then you can have all of these set up as templates to help baby step your client through the transaction. And Samantha has been doing this a really long time like me. She'll confirm we type the same emails over and over and over again because a lot of the processes are not unique to each client. We may be tweaking the language every so often, but I have typed that inspection email 1 million times. So at some point, I realized I should be saving that as a draft email or as a template email. So if whatever email product you're using does not have a template option, and I would argue it probably does if you just go on YouTube and search Yahoo email templates, or AOL email templates, I bet you'll find that there is a template tool available on your email software. But if it doesn't have it, you can always create some, save them as drafts, and keep them in your draft email folder, and then copy that language and paste it into a new email each time you need to use it. Then at least you're not typing that same language over and over and over again. Okay, so draft emails and template emails. You can have them for past clients. You can have them set up for, I met a lady yesterday and she gave me her business card when she found out I was a real estate agent. I'm not so sure she has real estate needs because her business card was she sells essential oils, and I think she might want me as a client, but that's cool. So I am going to go to my template email where I'm like, it was so good bumping into you. I'd be happy to give you my contact information in this email, and I hope to reach out to you soon, or I hope to talk with you again soon. Some sort of template email or draft email that you have available that is just a canned response to the situation where you have bumped into a new person who does not have any immediate real estate needs, but they have had a conversation with you about real estate. So they don't have an urgent need. You're not going to start showing them houses, but you want to put them into your client relationship manager anyway. This email is a good way to say, hey, it was great meeting you. If it's fine with you, I'm going to put you into my email software that's going to allow me to stay in touch with you. And then they will not be surprised when they start to get your quarterly reach out emails that you're sending to all past clients or current clients, or just people who have indicated that they may have an interest to connect with you, but don't have an immediate real estate need. So that draft or template email is an introduction to them to say, hey, don't find it weird when you start getting an email from me every 3 months, because I'm indicating in this email that's what's going to be happening. So you should expect that. And they always have the opportunity to unsubscribe. So email campaigns, that takes us to our next topic. Email campaigns are exactly what I just described. If you can use your email or your client relationship manager to start email campaigns, that is also sometimes called a drip market campaign. So all that is where you have set up a series of emails that are going to go out. Maybe it's the 5 steps of a real estate transaction. Maybe it's educational pieces like, what is an earnest money deposit? Why do we need it? What inspections are available to you as the buyer? Maybe these are just educational emails. Maybe these are emails about the processes that the buyer can expect to step through. Perhaps these are educational pieces to sellers, but they would just be template emails you've set up, but you have scheduled them to go out at a certain time. So the lady I met yesterday, she will go into my constant contact account, and she will get a series of a couple of emails, and I will have scheduled them to go out week 1, week 5, week 18. And they would just be 3 unique emails, just staying in touch and also asking if she has any real estate questions, if she has thought about buying or selling in the last few months. And so it's just a way that I can automate that. And I know that client isn't going to slip through the cracks. And the goal here is that I may end up converting her into a buyer or a seller through those touches throughout the months. Yet I'm not having to do that. I'm not having to remember to go do that. Instead, she's enrolled into my campaign, and the system knows to go ahead and just dole out those emails in the manner in which I've set them up. So that is all completely customizable. I can decide when they get it. We use it for work. So as the staff, we've each crafted an email. And when we hire a new agent or transfer a new agent into our firm, when we put them into Constant Contact knows to automatically email out 3 unique emails that the 3 of us have written. And one is about, where do I turn in documents? Who do I email? How do I call everyone? Where's the contact information for all of the staff? Another one is about, just welcome to the firm. We're happy to answer any questions. Here are some logos and letterhead, and here's a link to the YouTube channel so you can begin training right away and get caught up. So those just go out automatically. The only thing I have to do to trigger that happening is I have to put their email into Constant Contact, and then I have to tag them as a new agent. So when I tag them as an agent for our firm, this automatically happens. Otherwise, I go in and I put in a new customer I've met, like the lady yesterday. I put in a different tag, and a different series of events will happen. So very, very customizable. All of the software platforms are going to have that level of customization. So after you have decided to implement email campaigns, I want to talk to you about just your day-to-day activities. You need to have some routines. It is very, very common for you to be a real estate agent and for you to not be rigid with your schedule. And I get it. Every single day is different. And I may go into a day and I've got a really firm plan of several tasks or projects I need to tackle that day, and it may all blow up. And that is very common for us because you don't know when something's going to blow up. That's part of the stress and allure of real estate, right? It certainly keeps your adrenaline pumping because you never know what it's going to be, ever. So I would argue that the most successful agents, and successful here means healthy, happy, and making lots of money. Okay. That is how I'm going to define successful, is to have routines set up for yourself. Jennifer and I and Donna and I may decide there's something slipping through the cracks at work, some task we're not getting to often enough. So they'll tell you, because this is true, they'll come in one day and I've just put a recurring calendar event on our mutual calendar that says we're doing X, Y, and Z every Tuesday from 9 to 10. Now, it may take us 6 weeks for everybody to get on board and start doing that consistently. But I'm going to put it on there so it doesn't fall through the cracks. And if you've been in my office, you will have noticed that I may have 10 to-do lists floating around my desk, and I will occasionally consolidate them. It's that I have high hopes for my day, and I think I'm going to get so much done. However, if I consistently keep writing it all down and putting it on the to-do list and putting it on that big piece of paper on my wall that y'all occasionally look at puzzled and wonder what that is, if I can keep doing that and throwing recurring appointments on the calendar, they will eventually get done. If I don't put them in all of those places and create that routine and try to stick to the routine, none of them are going to get done. And it'll be very easy to look back on my workday and wonder, what in the world did I do today? So routines are going to be important. Set aside a time every week where you religiously zero out your voicemail and your email. Okay. I would love it if it was more times than one time a week, but start with that. Sit down and schedule on your calendar one time a week where you're going to get your email back to 0. It is very freeing. It means once a week you give yourself the gift of not having all of that emotional baggage in the back of your mind where you're wondering who in the world you forgot. Okay. And I know that feeling. I have it all the time. So you have to zero out your email and you have to zero out your voicemail. Do not be that agent who people call and the voicemail message says your voicemail box is full. No, there's a special place in hell for real estate agents who you can't leave a voicemail message for. Okay. So please make sure you're doing that. And that just comes down to routine and habits. Real estate, successful real estate, I swear, is 60% good habits. It just is. That's just going to always be true. So if you can create those routines and habits, including, here's this segue, time blocking. I was hinting at time blocking when I was talking about setting aside some time to zero out your mailbox. Time blocking is simply that. You're taking blocks of time and you're cordoning those off only for the specific activities you've said you're going to do there. Okay. So if I have said from 9 to 10, I'm going to call all of my past clients from last year just to say hi, just to say I'm thinking about you, I'm going to do it. I don't care if something else gets in the way. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it consistently every 6 months, and I'm going to put it on the calendar to make sure I do. So you can figure out if you've had 10 years of real estate and you have 10 to 15 clients that closed on houses with you each one of those years. I have 150 people I need to reach out to every 6 months to just say hi, just to say, hey, just checking in on you. Just wanted to see how you're doing. It's not a real estate call. It's a checking in on your people call. Okay. You became friends with them. I have some clients who just got engaged. They called me about an hour after that they got engaged just to say, hey, I proposed. I just wanted to let you know that she said yes. How good does that make me feel that they would think of me on the day that they got engaged? I'm not going to let that friendship fall flat, right? I don't have a lot of room for extra friends. As y'all well know, I lead a jam-packed, rich life, and I love it that way. I don't have room for another 150 friends that I stay in close contact with. However, I adore these people. I adore every one of my clients. They all become friends. I'm going to reach out to them every 6 months just to say hi, just to see how they're doing. Again, it's not a real estate call. It's just checking on my people call. Okay. These are your people now. They're your people for life. So you need to stay in contact with them. However, I'm human. 6 months is going to go by like that, and I'm going to not have made it happen. So it's going to go on my calendar. Listen, my nieces and nephews' birthdays are on my calendar, not because I'm a terrible aunt, but because the day will slip by and I won't have made them feel special. Okay. So I'm going to do everything I can to be successful. This is not a game I'm going to play with myself where I play, how special are my nieces and nephews chicken with my own self. I'm not going to try to prove to myself that I'm a good enough aunt that I can just remember it organically. Nope, not going to do that. I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to put it on the calendar, and I'm going to make sure they feel special. Okay. So I'm going to do the same for my past clients. That comes down again to time blocking. I'm going to block off the time to say this hour is important because I need to call 30 people. I need to call 50 people. I need to call 20 people. Okay. That's going to be the same with everything. Time blocking is going to work for writing up your to-do list, consolidating your 12 to-do lists. Go back and look at old transactions. Go back and make sure your files are complete. Make sure you've gone back and you've archived in your email all the stuff that you're no longer using just to declutter the space. There are lots of tasks that we put off because they're not money-making tasks. Well, if you can time block 1 hour just for organization of your voicemail and your email once a month, or once a week, whenever suits you, and just start giving yourself those routines. Now, to-do lists bring up the most important part of a to-do list for me are the action items. Okay. It's not just a to-do list of reminders. It's how will I make those things happen? So if I have reach out to all of my 2020 clients on my to-do list, reach out to them. That is very vague. So instead, I need to take that to-do list item, which I just scribbled down because I thought of it, that I've got to reach out to my 2020 clients. I'm now going to try to convert that on the to-do list to something that is an actual action item. So I'm going to say, send out the happy summer campaign email to my 2020 clients. Okay. On that email campaign, maybe I'm including a free scoop of ice cream somewhere. Maybe I'm including, a coupon that I have gone down to the ice cream parlor and said, hey, I have a lot of past clients who I'd love to send your ice cream parlor's information to. Any chance you've got a coupon this month? Have you got it shareable? Could you email it to me so I could put it in my email that's going to go out to my clients? And maybe there's a 20% off 1 scoop of ice cream coupon that you want to provide to your clients. Just things like that. Once you have your systems in place, it's very easy to roll that out because your email address list is just loaded and ready to go. So make sure you're not having a to-do list that's vague. Make sure it has action items on it so that you can check them off. And then the last one I want to talk about is pretty abstract. And then I'm going to open it up to questions, new business, anything you guys want to chat about. I know listening to me talk nonstop for 45 minutes, y'all can just nod off if you need to. But this one's pretty abstract, but I think it is very important, and you don't even know what it's going to be for a year or two. And that is creating your culture or your brand that is unique to you and your business. So I sold real estate for a long time, and I didn't really know I was cultivating a culture or a brand while I was doing it. But it turns out I kept seeing the same thing over and over again in my reviews. And that was, Ashley's not going to sugarcoat it. She's going to tell you the truth. Okay. The first time I read that, it was a little harsh to me. And I thought, oh, does that mean I was like abrasive but I kept seeing it over and over and over again. Clients just kept saying it. And I had to decide, well, I'm obviously doing something that's making them feel like I'm a straight shooter, right? Straight shooter, doesn't sugarcoat it, gives you the real deal. Those are all the types, the flavor of the reviews I was getting. And they were all very pleased. These were all 5-star reviews I was getting. So for me, I wasn't consciously creating a culture or a brand. I was organically creating that, but then I just was smart enough to look back and recognize that as, oh, okay, I guess that's my culture. I guess that's my brand. So then I started using that language when I would talk to clients. I would go in to a listing appointment with someone I knew, and we'd start walking through the house and I'd be getting a tour and I'd say, okay, so you know, friend Ashley is so sweet and she'll never tell you your haircut looks bad, but you have invited Realtor Ashley. And Realtor Ashley wants you to make a lot of money. So you're about to meet Realtor Ashley, and I will tell you your haircut looks bad. So I'm going to be telling you in your house, the house where I have visited and loved and enjoyed my time in, I'm going to tell you what things I think need to be fixed. And I promise you, it may be a little hard to hear today, but when we sell your house, you're going to love Realtor Ashley. So just bear with me and know that I'm doing this for your own good. Okay. And so what I did was I adopted in my language and in my spiel, if you will, those characteristics that clients had been responding to. So you've got to figure out what your culture and your brand is. And so I started using language like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, you asked me here because you really want to know the real deal. So I'm going to tell you the real deal. So I started incorporating that into, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy situation, right? Now, almost every one of my reviews talks about how I'm a straight shooter. So some of that is just because that's how I'm always going to be. Some of that is because I now am using that language and I'm self-describing the process like that. So I don't know what your brand is going to be. I don't know what your culture is going to be. Samantha's been doing this so long. I know her culture because I've watched so many transactions with her. Hers is you are always going to trust her. She is going to lead you in the right direction, even if it doesn't feel like it in that moment. She's never going to leave you hung out to dry. She's going to make sure she is looking out for you. And I'm positive that is what a lot of her reviews say, because she takes just excellent care of her clients. So you need to decide what you want your culture to be. And if you don't know what it is, consistently start asking for reviews. Have a template email that has a link to your realtor.com account and your Zillow account. And if you have not fleshed out those two free profiles as an agent, you need to do that. And then you need to start collecting reviews on both. Go back, look at the reviews, see what people are saying about you. That is your brand. That is your culture. If it's not good, you need to take a hard look at how you're conducting your business. How are you communicating? If your review says hard to get a hold of her, but ultimately we love our house, that's information you need to hear, and you need to take that to heart. And check your voicemail and make sure your voicemail box isn't full. So when you have begun creating this culture and this brand, it needs to be reflected in everything you do. And one way you can start building up your culture and your brand is you're building up your audience. So that's using social media and being consistent with it. Okay. You need to be consistently posting the same day of the week. That way people know when to look for it. So if you are going to have a post on your business page and you're going to share it to your personal page, do it every Tuesday. Do it every Saturday. Start a thing where you're like, where's Ashley on Saturday? And we're going to post it on Saturday. And the Where's Ashley post is going to be me wherever I'm eating lunch, going to a park, frequenting a local business, something I'm doing on Saturday that's also going to allow me to showcase something local. But it's the Where's Ashley segment. Okay. But it's going to be every Saturday. If I happen to be in another state, I'm going to post from the other state, but I'm going to do it consistently. People will grow to expect it. They'll understand that's what they're going to see, and they'll start to look forward to it, especially if it's not self-serving. Nobody cares to just, nobody's going, oh, I can't wait to see Ashley's selfie on Saturday that has no focus on anything except herself. That's not interesting. But they are going to be interested to see where I'm eating on Saturday, or what new park I'm exploring on Saturday, or what new hike I'm going on Saturday. Okay. That's what they're going to be looking forward to. And then that's the buy-in. Now they're interested in you as a person and where you're going and what you're doing and your community and who you're showcasing, right? That's how you build organic reactions and comments and likes and shares, right? When you say, hey, just hiked, the Greenway and found this cool little pocket park, and then you hashtag the park's name and you say, who's hiked this, who's discovered this park before? Now you've got your Facebook friends saying, ooh, I found that by accident when I was walking my dog. That's how you create that organic content and you stay top of mind. I'm not hitting them over the head with the fact that I'm a real estate agent. What I'm doing is I'm displaying that I live here too. This is my community. I know these neighborhoods because I'm out there walking the Greenway and I'm discovering parks, and I am walking my dog, and I'm not my dog. My dog can't walk anymore. She's a tiny little poodle. She can't go 3 blocks, but maybe I'm carrying my dog instead of walking my dog. But that's what I'm doing to create my culture around my real estate business, right? That's how I'm humanizing myself. Okay. Pop buys, dropping off a little bag of Halloween candy, dropping off a mum in the fall, dropping off some peeps, in the spring, whatever it is you're going to drop off. I try to do one physical, tangible thing that is on their stoop once a year, just once a year. That is completely doable. I don't care if it's a 99-cent bottle of bubbles in July with a enjoy your summer, tag on it. Okay. I'm going to drop something off on their stoop once a year. I'm going to send them some physical mailers, a happy house anniversary card, a happy new year card. I'm going to send those out a couple of times a year. I'm trying to be in contact with my past clients 4 times a year physically, meaning something in their hands, not email. So 3 times a year, it's going to be a card I've sent them in the mail. The other time it's going to be something on the front porch. Obviously something non-perishable like bubbles. What if they're on vacation? Okay. Another interesting thing you could do that is very value oriented is you could decide that part of your year-end planning is to run a new CMA for every past client and email it to them and just say, hey, Cheryl and Bob, just wanted to let you know I ran a new comparative market analysis on your house. I am thrilled to say that it looks like your house is worth $20,000 more than it was 2 years ago when you bought it. This is obviously just market value. I certainly don't expect you to sell your house, but since this is the largest investment you will likely make in your lifetime, I just wanted to take a moment to celebrate with you that it's gone up in value and you now have equity in your home. Congratulations. And thanks again for trusting me to walk you through the process of finding your home. People are nuts about the value of their own home. Why do you think Zestimates exist? Zestimates primarily exists for people to check out their own property value and their neighbor's property value, right? It is 100% a nosy neighbor feature, okay? And that is why it is wildly popular. And I'm not convinced they don't get it wrong sometimes, just for people's reactions, right? So if you could be sending out an annual CMA, once you have it down pat, you've got their search criteria in there. It's just running fresh comps. you could probably have it down to about a 5 to 7 minute process for every one of your clients. And if you just commit that that's something that is a value piece that your past clients are always going to receive from you, that is a very powerful gift you're able to give them every year. And I guarantee you they're looking forward to it every year. They can't wait to receive that and then talk about it. And if it comes back that their home has plateaued in value, that is still an opportunity for you to talk about that. It's still an opportunity to talk about what that means, because they're looking to you to be the real estate expert to help them interpret everything about their home purchase. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now because, again, I just talked for over 45 minutes straight. So I'm going to open it up to questions or new business or thoughts about any of this. I'm positive some of y'all are doing some of this, if not all of this. But this is your friendly reminder to say you should be doing a lot of these things to stay in touch with past clients, because they have already used you. If they're not using you in the future, there are one of two reasons. They have a relative who became a real estate agent, or you have not stayed in contact with them. Okay. There really are only two reasons why they wouldn't use you again. So please don't let it be the one that they didn't hear from you ever again. Okay. I'm going to mute myself and see what anybody has to add.